they drifting on the beat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TalkNSupes. I'm Ed from Ways of the Sith, and with me today...
And I'm Ande. What's going on?
We almost had it.
Yo,
we
it got too good to be true.
Yeah,
to a certain
he
point.
jumped the gun. He did it again. So if you've been keeping track, we've been kind of doing this as the episodes have been going on, and trying to nail the intro, but it's you know.
Yeah, at this point it's just like a running intro. Like this is the intro. Like this is it at this point.
Yeah. It's how many times can we step on each other right at the beginning of the show?
Right.
But we're back this week for another episode. Thank you to everybody who tuned in from last week. Last week I feel was like a really good episode. We had a lot to talk about. This week the topics are minimal, but I feel like me and Ande were talking before we started airing that we have a lot to discuss about the topics for today. So
right.
First things first, Daredevil episode 1 came out.
Yes.
What were your thoughts? Were you as hyped as you were going into the season?
Yeah, so like I said, I think I said this about a billion times on this podcast, and I've said it on another podcast too. But I had went to an event where I got to see the actress that plays Jessica Jones and the CEO of Marvel Television and stuff. So they were talking about Daredevil. I've been hyped for Daredevil season 2, Born Again season 2, since Comic-Con era. So New York Comic-Con era. So going into this, I was already guns blazing, let's fucking do it. And they did not disappoint at all. I love the beginning of this season so far seems like there's going to be just non-stop action going on throughout the whole season, because I had to rewatch the episode actually because it was just a lot all at once. I'm loving everything that's going on in here. They're starting to implement the MCU and making the show more of a bigger world than what we know it as from the Netflix series and stuff like that. So I'm super hype, and there's so much more, but I just want to hear what do you think about it?
So I liked the first episode. I had to watch it twice. I'll be honest. I put it on and I tried to watch the first episode and I ended up falling asleep. And that's nothing against the show. I just wasn't in the right mood to sit there and try to pay attention to everything that was going on in that first episode. I really like the setup of this. Matt's kind of back against the wall now. Karen is on the run pretty much in hiding. And Bullseye is wanted. I thought that was we'll talk about it when we get towards the end of the episode. But for me, that was the highlight of the episode, was that final moment of oh, okay, so this is where we're going for this season. I like the setup of seeing Swordsman from Hawkeye. Right. Got to see him. We did see him in the cage at the end of last season, right? That was from the end of last season, or was that the beginning of this season?
that had to been the beginning of last season, because the last time we saw him was last season. So
that's what I'm saying. He was locked up in Fisk's underground pen at the end of last season, I believe. So to see him now getting ready for his trial and going through that, I'm guessing he's going to be I didn't even think he was going to be involved in this show or a part of this. So that was quite a surprise. But overall, I liked the episode. I wish we would have got 2 this week. I think that's what it was for me.
Yeah, we're getting 2 this week though.
Okay. All right. So that for me was kind of the bare bones review of it. We'll get into the nuances of the stuff, but overall, I kind of think the setup was good. I'm more looking forward to what's going to progress throughout the season, obviously, and what they're setting up.
Yeah, I love what they're doing with Kingpin specifically, and taking him and giving him more of that power structure, now that he's with Val. So Val, yes, but also with
Vanessa.
His Vanessa, yeah, that's the word I was looking for, with Vanessa, but yeah, and so he is just gun ho in it, and just their dynamic too, because he's the therapy session too was funny, because he's well, what when he does things, are you okay with him doing that with your permission? And they're just No. so it's funny. It's funny to see how how they have to do crime shit as a couple together like this now that he's back. But yeah, I love that, and I also love the bit that they did for him that like shows like the propaganda of what Wilson Fix is all about.
Oh
and
yeah.
how it relates to the real world right now was like so on point and so fucking crazy that they couldn't done a better job of with that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I almost feel like they're setting up the Vanessa thing to kind of already put show you that there's like kinks in the wheel of Kingpin's plan. That's a lot to say in one sentence. But I feel like that's kind of where they're going with it. Is like if he loses her, or there's something between them that splits them apart, it makes it a lot easier to take him down, because we saw in not this iteration of the show, but the previous iteration of the show, like what happens when something happened. Like he lost his mind in that final fight, and then Matt was able to beat him. You know what I mean? So like, if they can find a way to divide them and like break them up again, and I'm wondering if it's Val. Like we saw that, Valentina De Allegra de Fontaine.
Ooh, you said it all in one, bro. I give you kudos for that.
From Thunderbolts is in here pulling the strings. Like she's the one who got Fisk mayor, and put him in power. All to get this deal like through the ports, where she's running weapons into the ports, which doesn't really make sense if based off like the end of Thunderbolts, because Yelena basically told her like, we got you by the balls, but here's Val still running like guns and still doing stuff backdoor. So I'm not sure where we are like in the timeline, like if this is before Thunderbolts, after Thunderbolts, or what.
Same. I was wondering that too, but I did see something going on that they say that this is after Thunderbolts, but I kind of don't understand. I would have that's the case.
That's what I would. And like supposedly we're gonna see Yelena in Spider-Man. That's what I've heard like recently, is that like she's supposed, because you're supposed to see Peter during the events of like Thunderbolts, I guess, in the Spider-Man movie. So it's kind of confusing with that bit, because if this is current day Val, like after the events of Thunderbolts, then she's still running guns like while running the New Avengers. That didn't really add up to me.
Sense, yeah.
So that bit might be a little bit, a continuality thing that they set up, but. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it unfolds, and bringing in what's his name as Mr. Nobody, the agent, to come in from her to kind of like meddle with things.
So that's the character he's playing. I was just gonna speak on his performance, because I just feel like
Matthew Lillard, that's his name. Yeah, Matthew Lillard. I couldn't think of it off the top.
He's super interesting, and at first when I seen that he was in the show, I was just like, what do you like? I don't understand your vibe. Like, why are you in this? Like, this isn't your vibe. You're more of like your scream and your comedy and stuff like that. So I was just like, why are you in this?
Five Nights at Freddy's he's into, where like that's a little bit more of a serious role for him than previously. I'm interested to see how this goes, because you see him take the call from Val, and then he puts his phone in the drink and just spins his phone in the drink. But that I don't.
On that note too, though, when he puts his phone in the drink and then they pan out and they show you that he's in DC, my brain already went, this is big. This is bigger than New York, because they're in DC, and then automatically, just because it's in DC, my brain starts to think like, is he connected to like Captain America, Red Hulk, and all that stuff? That just goes to my mind just because the movies correlate like that. So I started thinking about that type of stuff too. So I was like, hold on, this show is about to be a little bit more bigger and more widespread than I thought. It then brings us back to last pod, where we was talking about who do you think is in there fighting the Hand. Now more than ever, I guarantee that Daredevil has to be in Spider-Man. Like that's a no-brainer for me.
It does kind of add up, especially because like we, now they're going to retrieve whatever that was in the water. They're going to bring it to Fisk's warehouse, and he's going to kill all the people that are going to be removing moving the materials. Basically, that's what he set up. Because Kingpin was like, I don't want to kill my guys. My guys are hard to find. Like good help is tough. And so like that was the interesting thing for me is like he's coming in. You can tell he's not a person. He's like one of those people who come into the room and like act like they own the room immediately. Like he came in with the gyro late, immediately started talking. Even Rivera's like, who the fuck are you? And you know, and he's like, you're gonna want to answer that call. And then like you knew like right then and there. And then even when he's sitting with Vanessa, like in Kingpin, he's got his hands up around the chair and he's just chilling, like he owns the whole place. And like you know, I'm the big dog here. You can think you're in charge, but really Val's in charge of what's going on here. So
yeah, and Kingpin even knowing like who he is and saying like, nah, he's cool, like because Kingpin knows like he's not bigger than Val, and it's just crazy how Val just always sneaks her way into all these different properties. And now after Thunderbolts, because that was one of the better Marvel movies, now I'm intrigued to see what she does now after her losing in Thunderbolts, basically. So to see her back is
that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of my whole thing is like, all right, so we don't really know what's going on after Thunderbolts with her. All that we know is like Yelena kind of checkmated her, and then we saw obviously what Fantastic Four. We saw the new Avengers, you know, footage of them, you know, from that scene. So we know that they're in the tower. They're still, you know, I guess working for Val, and Val is still the liaison to this team. But I don't know. I don't know like where it goes for her or like what her big play in all this actually would be, especially like with Doomsday and Secret Wars coming up. Like, where does she fit in? Are you going to have her just be like the street level hero? Villain counterpart? I don't know. I don't know if that really like does it for me. I love her as an actress. Like I'm cool with her as a character, but they got to come up with like something more. Like hopefully she shows up in this show and it's just not like an off screen like, oh, we couldn't get her, because seeing her and Kingpin together, you know, both actors together on screen would be kind of fun. So yeah.
From what an interview I watched with Charlie Cox and the guy who plays Kingpin, he was saying that the question was, what's your favorite scene out of the season? And they both said the last two episodes. Okay. And they told them like, you have no idea what's going to be happening. I mean, and we were like, okay, like I could imagine the last two episodes will be crazy, but like for them to, the way they delivered it made it seem like it's going to be bigger than probably what we think is for a Daredevil TV show.
We'll get into that as we talk about our next topic, but still talking about Daredevil. I really, really loved the fact that Bullseye is on the run.
Right.
I think that makes it compelling. Like, we already like him as a character. He's a fantastic actor. Even going back to the original Netflix series, like, the backstory and the origin episode that they do for him is my favorite episode of that original run of the show. So to get him back and to have him and Matt pretty much have to say like the enemy of the enemy is my friend and have to team up and go up against Kingpin again, I'm here for that if that's like the route we're going. I'm sure it's going to go south. You know, Bullseye is the one who killed Foggy. If Foggy is dead, so that's something we can discuss, because I don't know if he's going to end up being dead. There is, we do know that.
That's hard for me to believe, but
we do know that
anything can happen, right?
We do know that he's in this season. I don't know if it's in flashbacks or what capacity, but he will be part of this season. I'm just throwing this out there. What if? So in the comics,
speculation.
Well, there's a story in the comics, and I want to say. So it's Karen that ends up getting killed in the comics, and Foggy ends up going into witness protection. What if this whole setup story?
Oh, I like what you're thinking. I just thought about the comic. Yeah.
What if like Foggy set up his own death to make it look like he died, and knew that Bullseye like would make it look real? Maybe didn't know that it was going to be Bullseye, and like in the comics, Matt does hear Foggy's heart stop too the same way. So like there is a way out of this if that's the way they want to go and like keep Foggy around. I love that actor simply because I go back with that actor all the way to Mighty Ducks. He was Fulton Reed in Mighty Ducks. He had the slap shot, you know, and was part of the Bash Brothers. So I always have a soft spot for that actor and would love to see him do more stuff. So if he does come back, I'm fine with that. If they end up like finding a way around that, because that's how I could see Matt and Bullseye end up like working together. If he's like, your boy's not actually dead, like here he is, and like brings him to him, or you come to find out that like Foggy's the one who hired Bullseye all along, and that's why Kingpin, that's why Bullseye was trying to kill Kingpin at the end of the last. You know what I mean? Like, you could very easily flip these events to make it all make sense, and like, oh shit, and then you kind of have everybody, all of Kingpin's loose ends kind of come undone, and like that's his downfall. Is, you split him from Vanessa, you have Bullseye working with Daredevil, and all of this stuff kind of unfolds. We're also getting Jessica Jones, which I don't know how she's going to fit into this, but
because right now I'm okay with the story right now, and now I'm thinking about like, damn, we still haven't seen Jessica Jones, and I don't know how she's gonna play into this. But that was another point I wanted to add to the convo, is that like I like the fact that from the Kingpin side and Daredevil side, we have like an actual team like facing each other. So it does give off that like I don't want to say like an Avenger level, but I mean we have like a team, like a team of a team of a bunch of like A-listers from the bad side and the good side, but except for Bullseye not being on fixed side this time. So it's really interesting, and it makes the rest of the show really intriguing. And having Karen back is also really really cool too. But
and she's also learning to hold her own too, which is interesting. Like Matt's teaching her to fight and like defend herself. So I didn't even peep that was her when she was in the Bob at first. In that scene, I was like, wait, why does she look like her? And I was like, and I looked closer, I was like, oh shit, she's undercover. like she's really like getting into the whole vigilante like bag, like for real. And like we know White Tiger's gonna be in this.
Yes.
Like
I didn't know that until I seen the promo of her like in the Disney Plus promo for it. And I was like, oh shit, so they're going forward with it. Like she is gonna really become White Tiger. Yeah, so I'm hyped for that.
Yeah, she's in the wanted poster, one of them. We got Bullseye, we got so I guess we can talk about it. It was announced that the Punisher one-shot is going to be at the finale of this show. So we're going to get the season finale of Daredevil and then the Punisher one-shot movie that's going to come out right after. Do you think it's connected, or do you think it's more of like a setup into Spider-Man, like, and to show you? Like I've heard, so no one really knows what the Punisher one shot is going to be. Some speculation was that it's the Garth Ennis run where he's dealing with the Russian and like that whole story. So it's possible, like maybe Frank's not in New York during this season, during this part of the season of Daredevil. He's doing whatever he's doing and then comes back for the Spider-Man movie. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're obviously teeing this all up to all be wrapped up before Spider-Man comes out. So, I mean, going back to what we said last week, I would almost guarantee that Daredevil's involved in the Spider-Man movie based off how this is all going to play out. Like, this is all going to end right before the Spider-Man movie comes out, and you're going to have the season finale of Daredevil and the Punisher one shot, and kind of all these loose ends coming together again. Like,
well, this last summer, they filmed the Punisher stuff, and that was all in Queens, like, and that was really in Queens.
Yeah.
So like, he's definitely in New York if that's where they filmed it. They filmed it at. So to see where it ends, I mean, I believe this also connects with the end of Daredevil, because from what I remember seeing in the leaks is like everybody's ramping around like it's fucking free, like it's Freemason shit, like it's crazy. So I believe it's the end of that because they're still dealing with the vigilante situation, and maybe Mayor Fisk has set out like his task force out and everybody's running rampant, so he is still, he's free after the end of last season. And then on top of that, I do believe it does then end connecting to Spider-Man in the beginning, and maybe this is where we see Frank and Peter have that like first time relationship where we like we said last time, like it seems as if like they already had a relationship already. So maybe we get like a taste of that, or maybe like
That would
you
be
hear a
my guess.
conversation on the
Yeah.
phone or something like that.
I
Like
don't think it's gonna
maybe
be.
I don't
It's not
know.
gonna be a phone conversation.
Yeah.
I could see them ending either the Daredevil season or Punisher season with or Punisher one shot, I should say, with the cameo of Peter being involved.
Yeah.
That would be an easy thing for them to do, especially the way they shot all this, and have it be their first meeting. And then you set up the Spider-Man movie with the 4-year, 5-year time jump, whatever it is. I forget what we said, and then go from there. And then like, all right, they're established. Peter and Frank know each other, and they can go forward.
I remember. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't really. Again, this is a lot that they're packing into this Spider-Man movie. Like a lot. And we'll talk about something else that I forgot to put on our rundown sheet, but it ties into Spider-Man and the current things that we're discussing. But yeah, I'm very interested to see. I've heard speculation that the Punisher one shot could actually be the season finale of Daredevil. That like they're gonna have the season finale of Daredevil, but then they're gonna tee you up for the Punisher special where like it's all of them, basically, and that's how they do the finale thing. I don't like that. Like, keep the Daredevil finale in Daredevil, and then let Frank do his thing. If they cross over, you have cameos in it, I'm cool with it. But otherwise, I don't know if like I really want to see that be the finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like using the Punisher one a spin-off or one shot to like give us more. Don't make that the actual finale for Daredevil. Just make the Daredevil finale and then give us more that can maybe connect to that or not. Whatever.
Have that maybe be the fallout to Fisk. Like, all right, Frank's dealing with like the down. Fisk now is removed from office, and Frank's cleaning up Fisk's task force and the people that are still out there wearing his Punisher symbol. I can see that. That could be a very like easy way to do it. Yeah, and you go from there. But I don't know. I'm very interested to see how all these things play out, because obviously it's pretty much dominoes that they're playing at this point. They're knocking one over, and then it's just gonna go now till doom. Like, this is all doomsday prep at this point for and setting up for the big thing, which is going to be Secret Wars. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesing to see how they pull this off.
It is, but
I'm packing
excited.
all of this together because you only have so much time. You have one movie, to do this all in. Basically, it's Spider-Man. So if you're going to do it, that's where you got to do it, and you got to set them up as being Peter's team for Secret Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I was saying regarding Spider-Man, yesterday it was officially confirmed by Jeff Snyder on the Insnider that Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. There is always the possibility that she could be Madeline Pryor. That's still debatable because, again, if clones are going to be involved in this and all of that, there's a possibility that it's not Jean, that it's Maddie. But either way, he said he was 95% sure that this was a solid done deal. I still don't know how I feel about that either, honestly.
Yeah, same.
I like her if that's the casting. Like, if she is Jean Grey, she'll make a good Jean Grey. But like we were saying originally, if you're casting her as Jean, you better make sure that you cast the rest of the X-Men team to be actors that are about her age and that can all age together. And I know we're not going to get them probably for another 3 years before we see them. Maybe we'll see them all together in Secret Wars, but like I really need to see actors and actresses that are around her same age range and caliber. Like, I don't want to see 30, 40-year-olds playing 20-year-olds. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. I mean, there's a couple out there. The thing with her and actors like her is that she has a younger face than what her actual age is. So it's done like a gift and a curse with that, because she's a great actress, but naturally she looks younger than what she actually is. And especially when we're playing with a property like this, where it's mainly younger people, you just don't want to make it weird where you get that.
And that's what I'm saying, especially if you cast like an older Cyclops, that's going to look very weird on screen. So you better have like a right actor in mind for that. I really I forget the movie that just came out, but Edgerton, the the kid that's been like rumored for a long time to be Wolverine. I saw like promo for the new movie that he's in. Joel Edgerton, is that his name? I can't. I think I'm close. But he really looks the part in this new movie that he's got coming out. Like, I saw that and I was like, shit. Like, he really, I guess, could play Wolverine and fit with, you know, the Sadie Sink and fit with some other actors like in that age range, and him being a little bit old.
He looks like Ben Affleck a little bit. As I'm looking at the pictures here, but yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
yeah. I'm interested to see who they cast and the team they put around. I really want to know like what mutants they're thinking about like putting in this. Like, I don't want to see just the same cast that we saw the last time around. You know what I mean? Like, I hope.
But you got to keep some of the classic characters. Like, we have to have the main people in here too.
I'm cool having like the OG5, but then you need some other characters around there. Like, it's cool if Beast is not a field member. Like, I don't need Beast out, you know, in the movie. I'm cool if he's just in the lab hanging out and doing shit at the X Mansion, and you know, have somebody else replace him as a role in the field team. You know, like, there's so many characters. There's so many diverse characters that you can pull from that. I feel like you have to have the representation. If we just come out with, you know, oh, here's the basic X-Men and here's Storm and here's the same team you've seen already in the Fox X-Men, I'm already like tuned out at that point. Like, I want to see something new and fresh and done differently than the previous iterations.
Yeah, and that's why I really liked New Mutants, because it gave an aspect of no pun intended, but New Mutants that we've never seen before and were really dope. Like, I love what they did with magic in that, and then plus
I would love to see Ileana on the team.
Yeah,
that would be one.
Plus, we were really seeing like Cyclops and Deadpool, so it made it, and that was, well, it still is like a part of the Fox universe. So it was still cool. It was cool to say like, okay, we know that possibly could still be the Cyclops and the Magic that really really brother and sister. So
no,
yeah,
Colossus,
like stuff
Colossus
like
and
Colossus,
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Cyclops.
I was saying Cyclops.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my bad, guys. I definitely know it's Colossus, guys.
Magic is a character I would really love to see in this new iteration, especially with how popular she is in Marvel Rivals and just in general.
Yeah.
Ileana would be a great character to be part of this team. I would also... Iceman and Angel are the two for me, where like, I love them as characters. They're two of my favorite characters, but I feel like you could easily take them out and replace them with somebody cooler. Like, you could take Iceman out and you know, replace them with somebody else. Like, Monet is another character for me where like, I would love to see her get a lot more shine. She got a lot of shine during the Krakoa era. She's a great character. I was even thinking
Kitty, maybe.
Yeah, I've heard that
with Lockhead though.
I've heard that Kitty's like supposed to be part of this team, regardless of what they do. That like Kitty was one of the characters. So again, like, that's the whole thing for me is like, how big of a cast are you going to do for this? How many of the team members are you going to do? Are you going to have the whole school filled with all these characters? You know what I mean? Like, and have the team kind of rotate. I don't know what the best approach for this is. If it was up to me and like we were talking about like what to do for an X-Men film, I wouldn't have them go to the school. I would literally do the Krakoa storyline and just, hey, the mutants, they created their own mutant nation that's an island in the ocean, and that's why nobody's seen them or dealt with them. And the easy fix would be that, you know, the mutants have been involved in some of these saving people and stuff like that, but nobody remembers because Charles wipes everybody's mind. So nobody knows that the mutants even exist. That's how I would do it, and just easily slide it into the MCU without having to do all of this other stuff. But
and that's a good way to blend it in there with the whole celestial thing too, as well.
Yeah,
like you can,
and you have the adamantium there.
Together.
Like, it's a layup to me. Like, I was expecting to see something like that at the end of the Captain America movie when they did that whole thing with the statue. I was like, oh, we better get a William Stryker cameo or like a Wolverine cameo or a hint towards Wolverine at the end of this, of them taking the adamantium and bringing it to Canada or whatever. But they never did that, so that was disappointing. To me, like, I'm interested to see how they're going to do this, because from what we know from the incursions, there's going to be 3 worlds. You're going to have the Fantastic Four universe, you're going to have the main Marvel 616 universe, and then you're going to have the Fox X-Men universe. So we're going to have those conversion that event going on with those incursions, and I'm just not sure if Battle World is going to be the thing that brings them together. But then if we're going to have Jean be in Spider-Man, does that make any sense? Like, that's what I'm saying about there just being a lot of stuff that they're going to have to pack in, and they're going to have to explain it like well for everybody to understand, not just people like you and me. Like general audience members need to like grasp this, that the mutants are here.
That's why I right now I'm excited for where we're at, because right now I do feel like everything's very promising. You starting off with the street level characters, and then it's almost like they're doing a reset without doing a reset. You start out with the street level characters, everybody can kind of consensualize that, and you just follow that, and that will lead you into Spider-Man, which is everybody's gonna see Spider-Man. The shit got more views than fucking Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, like everybody's gonna see that. So when that comes out,
that's debatable. We can talk about that, but that's debatable. I still think they made up a lot of those numbers, because if you look at the YouTube views and stuff like that, they're nowhere near what the number that they reported they are.
I would imagine more people though knowing Spider-Man than Grand Theft Auto 6 though.
Yeah, but for a billion views, like, and you look at the YouTube trailer only had like 200 million, and then you look at like Twitter, and it was about like the same. So that's what I'm saying. Like, unless they got their numbers from like every single video that was shared across the internet and collected them together, there's no way that trailer got 1 billion views. I'm sorry. Like, it's inflated numbers, because the first initial number reported was like 600 million or something like that. And then when they announced it, all of a sudden it was 1 billion. So I'd take that with a grain of salt, because Disney's been known to use fake accounts, fake bots, and promote their stuff. We saw it. I saw it firsthand with Fantastic Four. They were retweeting all kinds of accounts that had blue check marks and 0 to 4 followers on these accounts. Like, no tweets previously. They were all bot accounts trying to promote people to go see Fantastic Four, because the movie essentially nobody cared about it after the reviews came out. So I would take those numbers with a grain of salt, because from what I looked at, those numbers don't match up. They're I looked at it. But yeah, I agree. Spider-Man's probably way more popular than the Avengers movie is going to be. More people are probably more interested in this than going to see Doomsday, especially after the slate of other stuff that we've had. I know a majority of people that have just like tuned out since Endgame, and I have no idea what's going on in the MCU.
Well, that's not like that. Like, back to my point is like, that's why I feel like you starting with street level stuff makes it a lot more easier for folks to like jump on the train and kind of like gear them up into going into Doomsday.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. I would assume Spider-Man will probably be good. It'll get a good reception, but as far as everything else, I don't know if anyone else is going to be able to keep up. Like, if you're tuned out, I would love to know. Like, if you're somebody who is tuned out, if you're somebody who is tuned out from the MCU, are you excited or are you not excited about this? Because I'm somebody who still watches all this stuff, but I don't have the passion and the enthusiasm for like what they're doing. Like, I don't really. Even Daredevil, like, I'm watching the show. I enjoyed the first episode. Am I hyped for this season and like, oh yeah, Marvel's back? No, like.
That's me though, guys.
It's good. It's a good show. They brought in the actress from Law and Order, which I really liked, to put her back with Vincent D'Onofrio. So that was cool to see. But yeah, I'm just here along for the ride. As it goes for like Daredevil, the Punisher shit, I really don't care about. I'm sorry, I don't really care about like the one-shot movie.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like, I'll watch it. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. If not, I'll shit all over it.
Well, we know that's what it is when it comes to that. He don't pull no punches when it comes to that shit. But I'm hyped for it. I just like it gives me hope that they at least have somewhat of a game plan, and we're getting things back together like how we used to be somewhat. I don't want to say it too loud and I fucking jinx it, but for right now, I'm hype. I'm loving Daredevil. I've loved Daredevil since the beginning, and it has not disappointed. From somebody I know who watched both episodes, and this next episode is going to be very like relationship based. So there's going to be a lot more, I guess, dialogue and like learning each other. And they said like you're learning everybody's relationship. So we'll see what happens. So
Maybe
I'm glad
that's
we
why
get
we're
two.
getting. That's what I was going to say. Maybe that's why we're getting two, because
Yeah.
they knew if they were dropping that one by itself,
Yeah.
you would lose me if that was the one episode. I would
Yeah.
be like,
So
I don't
yeah.
care about any of this. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want to
So
see him
it's
fight.
a lot of relationships going on and stuff like that. But from what they said was that like they're glad that they're dropping the third one because they didn't see the third one and they need to know what happened. So I guess with the second episode, it does end on a cliffhanger where you want to know what happens next. So
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch the official podcast that they put out?
I did.
I really liked, these Marvel things are very overproduced. Their official podcast that they put out is just literally a production run thing. It's all clips and edits, and everything's nice and tight and put together nice and neatly. It's not just two people talking. So it was nice to see Brad Winterbaum be able to talk to the showrunner and just them actually have a conversation. It was also interesting. I did not expect the showrunner to want to talk about that he took over last season and like pieced this whole first season together. That like this wasn't his vision. He was part of the original show. He was part of the Netflix run of the show. So for him to come back and to get to repiece this together and bring back Karen and Foggy, and for Brad Winterbaum to talk about all of that stuff was kind of interesting to me. I found that I found that episode more interesting than the actual Daredevil episode. Just to hear all the ins and outs of like the shooting process and the casting process and his motivation about why he wanted to bring back certain characters. It just really made a lot of sense.
Yeah, the director was really getting into detail on a lot of stuff, and at one point I remember him mentioning that they're even working on season 3.
They're shooting it now.
Yeah, they're shooting it. So I didn't even know that was even gonna be a thing. So
it got greenlit.
This is gonna be good.
So after season 1 aired, they greenlit it for 2 because they were already starting to shoot season 2. So they greenlit season 3 right away. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So yeah,
it seems like that's going to be the plan for this. Like it's overall going to be 3 seasons, and then I don't know what they're going to do from there. But I think that's like where the Iron Fist news came out of, that he was going to be part of season 3.
Please don't tell me that.
All of that. So yeah. But the other big topic we got this week, the official Harry Potter trailer dropped. So not only is Dune and Doomsday having some competition with each other, now they got the Harry Potter series to contend with, because this drops Christmas Day. I will say,
that's genius.
I absolutely love this trailer. I really, really, really love this trailer. I'm a big fan of the books. I've read all the books. I love the original movies. I love the original cast. But there's a lot of stuff from the original movies that was left out from the books. In the original books, there's a lot more background characters that are more prominent. Dean is one of the characters. Neville is one of the other characters that, like, we saw them in the movies, but Neville really doesn't come into like the last movie of being important, and his story is like parallel with Harry's. So it's going to be nice to see like these other characters flushed out, and they have the time. They're doing a whole season for one book. So, and I love that they called it the Sorcerer's or the Philosopher's Stone, because that's the original title of the book before it got changed back. So pretty cool. I do have some issues with obviously with J.K. Rowling herself, and the fact that she's going to be benefiting from this based off her views and her antics and all the stuff that she does. I think that's kind of shitty. And she did apparently have a role in like the casting and the oversight on this series, so she is involved. It's not like they did this without her being involved in this. So there is some bad things attached to this with her being involved, but I hope for these kids' sake that people don't attack these kids, that people don't try to compare these kids to the original actors. Daniel Radcliffe reiterated something very similar, where like do not put this on these kids that they're remaking Harry Potter. It's not their fault that they got jobs and they're actors and they're playing a role. It's cool to love both. It's cool to just love the movies and not watch the show. It's cool to love this show more than you love the movies. It's not going to do any damage. If you're a fan of the product, enjoy the product and enjoy what they're putting out. That's don't I think attack the cast. Don't send death threats. Don't make these kids into something that they don't need to be exposed to.
Right. And I think it's like on the casting side, a good job that they were able to cast characters from like even the casting just in general of Harry Potter from the movies and with this, that they were able to cast characters that look identical to what they are in the books. So I mean, it's not their fault that the casting was that good that they may look like the original cast from the movies. But I just love I same sentiments as you have for this trailer. I love this. I love Snape being a black character. I love his look more than anything. But the fact that he's black is even a plus, an A+ for me. And the fact, like you said, this is a series, so we'll be able to get that one for one story in as what the book says, and it should be very interesting to see it in this format. And yeah, I'm excited.
Now to speak about the casting of Snape, that was a big topic discussion on Twitter. People sending the actor death threats, people making all kinds of comments. Let me put this in perspective. Alan Richardson, the original Severus Snape. What's his name? Alan. Look it up for me while I talk about this. The original Snape was a Royal Shakespeare trained actor. It took him dedicating himself to that performance. He dedicated himself to all of his performances. This actor, Alan Rickman. I was close. I was thinking Alan Richardson and his fight that he had the other day.
That's close enough. Alan Rickman, yeah.
He's a classical trained actor. This actor that they cast is a Royal Shakespeare classical trained actor. So that's why they cast him. They didn't cast him for the color of his skin. They didn't cast him to have fan outrage. They cast him because they were looking for a specific quality to play the character, and this actor has those qualities. Yes, he looks different. I feel like this is going to help the role of Snape. Right. It's going to hurt Harry's father, though. It's going to make Harry's father look worse than he did in the original run. Like, Harry's father specifically picks on this kid and, hangs him from a tree at one point in like, the books and stuff like that. So, like, that stuff could be a little bit touchy, having an African-American actor playing Snape. I also feel, though, like, the message gets across more of, like, maybe why Snape is different and feels different at the school and why people treat him the way he does. He's also the Half-Blood Prince in the books, so he's mudblood. He's got a human and magic, so I feel like that's going to have a different connotation for the his character in the movie. And I'm interested to see how this actor takes that and rolls with it and displays it and makes you feel as while you're watching it, because I really hope they show. That's one thing that I feel like was left out from a lot of the movies, was the way Snape and Harry start to bond and the way that relationship develops. You saw it early on, and they did a really good job, like, early on in the original movies, of showing how, like, that relationship gets flushed out, and, like, Snape's always an asshole to him, whatever. But as the story progresses, you start to learn more and more about, like, why Snape's doing the things that he's doing, and it all unfolds. So I love this. I think this is a great idea. John Lithgow is playing Dumbledore, which I loved him in the role. I was like, holy shit, that's him. Like, okay,
he looks really good.
He looks fantastic. Nick Frost is playing Hagrid. He looked great. I really felt like he did like a nod to the original actor that played Hagrid, who's no longer with us. So I think this show could be really fun, and the fact that they're debuting it on Christmas, every time Christmas rolls around, I end up watching the Harry Potter movies because for me, they're Christmas movies. And
yeah, they are.
anybody who wants to argue that Christmas happens in every single one of those movies, it's part of every one of the movies. So
yeah.
The fact that they went and debuted this on Christmas like solidifies it for me. Like, yep, Harry Potter is a fucking Christmas thing.
You heard it here first. It's a Christmas movie. Fuck what they say.
I'm looking forward to. I didn't see who was playing Malfoy, like who the character that's going to be playing, like who they cast to play him. I'm interested to see that. I'll be interested to see who they cast to play his father. I'll also be interested to see who they cast as Harry's uncle. Sirius Black.
I know. That's my favorite.
That is my favorite too of the movies.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see. I thought Gary Oldman did such a fantastic job in the original run. So I'm interested to see like who they go with for this. And Professor McGonagall, it was the original Wendy from Hook. That was her, in the original movie. So I'm interested to see like who they cast as her, because again, that's another character that like they don't really establish Harry's relationship with her. She's almost like a surrogate mother to Harry throughout the series. She always like takes care of him and like looks after him throughout all the books. So it'll be cool to see what they do with this. And I like the fact that they'll have the time to explore some other stuff that's not explored in the movies and really just get to flush it out a little bit more.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be great. I absolutely cannot wait. And on Christmas Day, like I usually work Christmas Day, but I did that last year. This year is definitely not fucking happening.
But now you got to decide though. So a release date did open up in December. So Dune 3 or Avengers could move up out of that Christmas slot and take, I think it's December 11th is the weekend that's open now. So
yeah,
I would be shocked to not see one of them.
With somebody.
Yeah,
I had this conversation with somebody literally.
If I had to guess, I would assume it would be Avengers that moves up. Only because Dune has all the IMAX theaters locked in place. Avengers doesn't. So Avengers has no IMAX screenings for Doomsday. If they move up to the 11th, they'd have the IMAX screenings, even though the film's not shot in IMAX. So I could easily see Marvel being the one to move out of the slot, especially now knowing that Harry Potter's coming that same day too. I think a lot of people are going to stay home and watch Harry Potter rather than go to the movie theater. That's just me. But I think it adds some competition to all of these things.
It definitely does. But the fact that you got Harry Potter on HBO Max, I think it makes it a little bit more lenient for people to be like, okay, it feels like the movies are more of an event than the Harry Potter one. Not this like,
I don't know, man.
Continuing,
I don't think so.
Not taking away what Harry Potter has to give to it. I just feel like, okay, I have this at home and I can watch it. I can watch it at any time. And most of the time, people, if it's Christmas, then people are gonna fucking throw this on while they're opening presents and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna get people watching this on Christmas Day and staying home rather than. And for all we know, they could drop a couple episodes. I don't know how this is gonna go. So you might have 2 hours of Harry Potter to watch on Christmas rather than getting out to the movie theater. I'm just saying I could very easily see a scenario where Marvel moves their date because they're scared. Because now you're going up against two Warner Brothers things in the same day. I'm just saying.
Ooh, I didn't even put that together. That they're both Warner Brothers properties.
Yeah.
Shit.
yeah. So, and I don't think Dune's moving because of the fact that they have all the IMAX. That movie is shot for IMAX, so I can't see them moving. And I don't think they need to. Like, I think if anything, Doomsday is the one that needs to stand on its own. Because, like I said to you, if I'm presented with the choice of what do you want to go see, Dune 3 or Avengers, I'm going to see Dune.
First?
And probably only. Like, if I have a choice for that week to only go see one movie, I'm going to see Dune. I'm not going to see Avengers. Like, that's just me, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and it's valid. But my only problem with that is that with Dune, I feel like I have to put a lot more attention to that. So I would rather, give the finale to the show.
That's why
I
want
know
to
it's
see
gonna
it,
have
though.
the big, the show that has the big picture, and I mean the great picture, and all the dialogue and all that, where I can be happy going to like a 10 o'clock screening for fucking Doomsday and just have a good time and know like okay, this is where we're going with this.
I'm going
Doom
for
is just like
going for the cinema.
It's the finale. There's a bunch of stuff like I'm cool with having Dune as my second option.
And see, I'm the opposite. I'm going for the cinematography. I'm going for the epicness of how that movie's going to look compared to Doomsday, which I already know is all going to be green screen and volume. So it's two very different things. It really just comes down to like your preference for stuff, but I'm not the person I'll be the person that'll sit there and point out the green screen and say, look, I could see it. I did it during Fantastic Four and it pissed a lot of people off. But yeah, I'm much more excited for Harry Potter and Dune than I am for Doomsday. And that's saying a lot, especially because like this trailer came out. We still don't have a Doomsday trailer. Like there's still nothing.
But I know, and that's what I was trying to say last. That's what I was trying to say last week with him dropping that.
I got no trailer for Doomsday, and they're gonna keep that tight to the vest until they want to unveil it. And I feel like that's gonna be their big mistake with this. They're gonna think just because the Avengers name is on this that they can do whatever they want, and they're gonna make $1 billion. And I don't think that's the case. I think Spider-Man that's the case. Spider-Man's a different entity, though. Spider-Man's its own entity that you've built up and had solid movies. You haven't destroyed the Spider-Man legacy yet. So
that part, and that's basically kind of what I was about to say, because Avengers, you killed off the Avengers pretty much, so it's like whatever. But with Spider-Man is he's still there. All that we know from like previous movies is still there, so it's like the character is still breathing and alive, and you're ready to see what their next adventure is. So
and the fact that you're getting 2 original Avengers, and one of them's not even in Doomsday. You only have Chris Evans and you have Chris Hemsworth in Doomsday. No Hulk, he's in Spider-Man. So 2 Avengers that you're getting out of the and then
whatever they gave us in Secret Wars too. So.
But Secret Wars, I can see that being the movie people want to go see because they're going to see that Spider-Man and Hulk and all the characters they know are going to be in that. If you have not watched any of this shit since Endgame, you don't know who these new Avengers are. You don't know who any of them are except Sam Wilson. But you're like, oh, he's Falcon. He's not Captain America. Like, how's he Captain America?
You mean they don't know who Miss Marvel is?
No.
Ms. Marvels is?
No. Nobody still knows who Ms. Marvel is. They put out a movie and a TV show, and guess what? Nobody gives a shit. and she's probably not coming back. I would hope. My guess is though she'll be a part of whatever Peter's doing. Like they already set that up in Daredevil with her dad. Like
and same thing with the X-Men too.
Yeah,
with the base.
Well, then that's going to be my problem. Like if they come out with the X-Men and Kamala Khan is part of the fucking team, I'm already done. Like you already lost
Phantom
me.
will introduce her to the X-Men.
Yeah.
And then that's when it says, I'm going to go back and watch.
And that's when I will have a Joe Budden moment on this podcast. And I will be screaming at the top of my fucking lungs.
Thanks. I hear you, bro.
Continuing talking about Marvel, Wonder Man, it was announced that it is going to get a season 2. I know you're happy about this.
Hell yeah, man. I loved everything that they showed in Wonder Man. Just off of the superhero shit that they showed really only at the end of the season, because that was whatever, but I just love their depiction of LA was amazing, and like a 1-to-1 for me in my experience, and just the actors' experience as well. So I hope we get to see more of that. I hope we get to see more like the funny Hollywood stuff that they were trying to implement in this, and you get to see these 2 actors go on another adventure and get into some fuck shit together, so this is gonna be fun.
I want to see She-Hulk in season 2.
Yeah, man, she would be perfect.
I think that would be the perfect way to do it is, now they're on the run. He broke Trevor out of prison. He's going to need a lawyer. So, having Jen be part of this and getting to see Ben Kingsley interact with her would be fucking hilarious to me. Like, him just being like, oh, you're a lot of woman. I'd love to, like having that back and forth between them. I would love that. I really think, so this could go either way. Season 1 was a pleasant surprise. It wasn't supposed to be what it was. Marvel themselves had no faith in this show, and then they were shocked that people actually liked the show enough to do a season 2. So if they stay on course with what they did for season 1, and season 2 is more of the same, I think they have a good show in their hands. If they try to meddle with this, though, and they say, oh, people really like this, like, we got to do more, and they start messing with the pie, I think they fuck it up, and like it just becomes another thing that they've already done. That's like
another nothing burger.
Yeah. I do think that they're gonna try to wrap this up in time for Secret Wars because again, I still think he's gonna be replacing Luke Cage on this team. If we're assembling Daredevil and Frank and Peter and Jessica Jones and them, and you bring in She-Hulk, I think Wonder Man and Sir Ben Kingsley, I think make the perfect team with this group. I would love to see Ben Kingsley get to interact with Spiderman. I think that would be a lot of fun. And Peter like losing his fucking mind a little bit and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that would be a lot of fun. And Punisher and Ben Kingsley would be a lot of fun.
Oh my
Daredevil,
God, Punisher would be insane.
Think, to me, that's the team for Secret Wars. Like, if you come into Secret Wars with that team, you sold me now before even seeing Doomsday. If that's the team for Secret Wars, like if that's
almost
Peter's
like you're doing the street level
Avengers.
Guardians.
Well, like Peter's Avengers, they're the new Avengers. Like that's what they would be. It would be the new Avengers basically, and that's.
But we do have the actual new Avengers.
I don't fucking consider them anything. They're all Avengers. They're all just like background Avengers. So I'm fine with that. You can kill off whoever you want to kill off in Doomsday. I have no attachment to any of them. Just wipe them all out and bring in Peter's team, and you got a much better movie.
Because they're acting like the actual Avengers, and like was it the Winter Soldier's fucking team or whatever? But yeah,
I'm very interested to see how this all plays out, how it all ties in, and whatever they have planned. Another show that we were very big on was Task. We talked about it quite a bit on like what we were watching. It's not really superhero, so we didn't really go too much into it. But Mark Ruffalo is coming back for season 2.
Yeah,
and Mahershala Ali is joining season 2. So that's going to be interesting. That basically says that Blade is not happening anytime soon. And he's going to be part of season 2 of Task. I don't know if he's going to be in the villain role or like the antagonist role for season 2. I don't know the premise of season 2. This was originally just supposed to be a limited series, but everybody loved it so much that they're coming back and doing another season. So I'm here for it. I loved the first season of Task. The other actor that played the antagonist in Task, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he was fantastic in that show. And like, I want to see him in more stuff going forward. I did see he's married to somebody that's like big, and I was like, oh, I had no idea like they were together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to see him in more stuff. He was so good in that first season of Task, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on HBO Max. Fantastic cop drama, mystery, typical HBO show. It's made by the same person who made Mayor of Easttown, which is another fantastic HBO show. Oh my God,
another fantastic.
So we got some news. We were talking about Lord of the Rings last week in The Hunt for Gollum. This week it was revealed that there's another Lord of the Rings movie planned. It is called Shadows of the Past, and Stephen Colbert is going to be writing it. Him and his son are part of the writing team for this movie. They were the ones who actually pitched it to Peter Jackson, and Peter Jackson loved it, and apparently DeLuca and Abby from Warner Brothers loved it, and they're going to move forward with whatever they're going to do. It's called Shadows of the Past. It's going to take place after Return of the King, so it is going to be a direct sequel to the original 3, Lord of the Rings movies, which is something different than Gollum. and apparently is focused on a couple chapters that were left out of the original book. So again, like a little idea that apparently they spun out into like its own little thing.
Yeah, I seen this news too, and I just seen a lot of stuff regarding the fact that Stephen Colbert is the one who's directing this, and it's just like, who are you to even have the rights to doing?
He's not directing it. Peter Jackson is going to direct this. Stephen Colbert and his son are doing the treatment for the script. That's it.
Well, all right. Well,
for those of you guys that don't know,
it's going to converse some people.
For those of you guys that don't know, Stephen Colbert is a scholar in Tolkien. So if anyone has the right to do anything Tolkien, it's Stephen Colbert. And you can look it up. He's a legitimate scholar on Tolkien and his writings. He owns every Tolkien thing. If you have conversations with him regarding Lord of the Rings, he knows everything. The man is an encyclopedia. He's legitimately a scholar on Tolkien's writing.
That's dope.
So if he's qualified, trust me, his son writes scripts for a living. So like, it's not something that's like new to them. It's not out of the realm of possibility. The only interesting thing that's all in this is the potential Paramount deal. Colbert just got fired from Paramount. His show is getting canceled. He's going to do this with DeLuca and Abbey and Warner Brothers at the time, but potentially Paramount could eventually take over, and this movie could be scrapped because Stephen Colbert's involved in it. So that's always a possibility with the Paramount merger. Something to think about, like with this merger, is like he's essentially going to go work for the people who just fired him. If everything goes how it's looking like it's going to go. So there's a possibility this could not happen, but for Peter Jackson to bring Stephen Colbert on this live stream to discuss the whole idea behind it, and Tom Bombadil being involved and stuff like that, like, I'm interested on this. I want to see what it does. I've
supposed to be a movie, right? This is not no animation or anything like that. This is going to be live action.
Movie that's going to be a direct sequel to the original trilogy of Lord of the Rings. So like, this is going to be the first time that we're going to get something after Lord of the Rings that's going to be completely original, but it's going to be touching on events that took place in the books from chapters, I think 4 through 8. It's like literally 4 chapters that were left out of the original thing. But it's going to involve Sam's daughter, apparently, is going to be like one of the main characters of the story that Colbert's doing. And I'm here for it. I said last week with The Hunt for Gollum, I don't think there's enough of that story to make a whole movie out of. But if they're talking Lord of the Rings trilogy and it's going to be 3 original movies that take place during different points, I'm kind of cool with that too. As long as we get, a lot of this cast to come back, I'm cool with it. It's interesting enough for me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not the biggest on all Lord of the Rings. I have seen the movies, but the fact that we're getting more conversation on them and things that are coming out afterwards does make me excited to see that, because I know the fan base, and it's pretty cool to see that stuff. And I'm into the world of Lord of the Rings, so yeah, I'm on the same sentiments as you. Like, I'm interested. Let's do it.
Yeah, it looks like it could be pretty cool. Well, that's it for our topics. So let's go into comics of the week.
Another good week.
There was a big comic that came out this week. Do you have it in front of you? Because I do not.
I can get it in 1 second.
All right,
but keep talking.
So the Spider-Man Superman crossover came out this week, and it contains a lot of short stories from a lot of different writers, and I don't know. Like, what did you think about this issue? Did you enjoy this issue?
This guy right here?
There we go. There's
Superman and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So let's say this. Superman and Spider-Man, 2 characters that are very iconic in both of their worlds, in DC and Marvel, just in the superhero space in general. They do play a lot of role. They do have a lot of similarities, more than I thought about while I read this. But this is something about them that I just, to have them mingled like that, they are still very different at the same time. And there's some stories in here that pretty much tell you that in this, in like plain as day. I didn't love everything that was in this issue. But the one story that I did love was the Jonathan Kent and the Uncle Ben story, because
Okay.
that is probably the most compelling thing when it comes to both of those characters, is that they both had really dominant, strong, like thought-provoking males that were in their lives, and I thought that was dope that they brought them together, and that was probably one of the only ones that I thought I really liked in this whole thing.
I was a big fan of Gail Simone and Belen Ortega's story with Power Girl and Frank Castle. I thought that was the best story in this whole issue.
I did see that, but I kind of skipped over it, but it did look nice.
I felt like this could have been Superman and Steve Rogers. This could have been Peter Parker and somebody else. Like, him and Clark are too much alike for my taste. Like, reading the book, and like I never would have thought about it until I read this issue. Like, when they were doing the opening of the first story, I was like, oh, this is like overkill. They're the same person. Like, they're literally the same character, and I never even realized this. They both work at a reporting thing. They both have the dual identity. They both wear the red and the blue. So like a lot of things. They both have the father figure, like you brought up. They both have the storied past that they do. So
they don't know their parents.
It just kind of felt like I'm reading the All-American Boy Scout Superman, and it was cool, but it wasn't for me. It again, Gail Simone and Belen Ortega's Power Girl and Frank Castle story was a lot of fun. I love both of them. Gail is, one of my favorite writers. Belen Ortega is fantastic on her art. So yeah, I love that story. Moore's art is fantastic too on the cover and stuff like that. Like, just he's killing it right now. But yeah, the crossover for me, if I had to pick between this and the Batman and Deadpool crossovers, I would be leaning more towards the Batman and Deadpool stuff. I had more fun with those. Yeah. I thought they were a lot more fun. I a lot more comedy to them, a little bit more lightheartedness. This all kind of felt like very same, like I kept thinking of the James Franco meme, like same, but different, but same. that's
actually perfectly
that summed up this whole issue, like, pretty much for me. But what were your comics of this week?
So the comics of the week was the Superman and Spiderman. Okay. I also did pick up Justice League Unlimited. We also picked up it was a rerun, but I thought it was a new book, but it was of Invincible. Okay. And then there was one more. Oh yes, Wolverine Armageddon, Chip Zdarsky. And yeah, that was all mine.
Okay. So I have a couple here. First, I'm just going to touch on Harley Quinn. This is the debut issue of Bat Quinn. This starts off the story where Harley and Harleen have split because of the Omega energy. They did not explain her as Bat Quinn. They did not explain anything that goes on with this story. The way this issue ends is she goes to her apartment and Harleen's in the one who answers the door. And they kind of teed up that, like, next issue we're going to get kind of the fill in the gaps. But this whole issue is pretty just Harley doing a Batman monologue and hunting down people. It was fun, but it wasn't my favorite issue of the week. I just wanted to point it out because it is the first appearance of her as Bat Quinn, I guess you could say. Justice League was a phenomenal issue this week. So the superheroes, the supervillains are being granted amnesty now due to the Dark Side War that's going to be coming up and the Crisis event. So Lex Luthor, King Shark, Giganta, and who was the other one? Lobo.
And Starro, I think.
And Starro, yeah. They are official members of the Justice League now. And it looks like maybe a couple other villains will be given the amnesty too. Harley is also going to be part of the Justice League as part of this new Bat Quinn status quo for her. So Justice League, I'm glad we're back at a DCKO because, like I said, I was really loving this book until we got to DCKO. And then it kind of went away from the characters that I was reading and went to, like, the Mr. Terrific story and all of that, where, like, it lost me. So I'm glad to be getting back to, like, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the rest of the Justice League. Clark is missing. We still do not know where Clark is. So that was very interesting to see how they're going to tee that up. And I'm guessing they might keep him off for a while. And speaking of Clark being gone, my favorite book this week, surprisingly, was Superman. And if you read the issue,
I'm very surprised that you just said that.
It's prime time, baby. Yeah. Superboy Prime is back as Superman. This was my favorite issue of the week. Joshua Williamson absolutely fucking killed this. It was so cool to see Superboy Prime in this universe. For those of you guys that don't know, Superboy Prime is from a universe where he's read the comics. The comics are real. He lives in a world. He's from a universe that's essentially our universe, where he's read all of these same stories that we've read. So it's all canon to him. So he knows these secrets about all of these superheroes that he's idolized. And it's going to come into play in this story. I don't know how long this is going to run, if it's just for the reign of the Superboy's era, but I really, really, really want a Superboy Prime spinoff series after this, because this was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's why I was like kind of hesitant of picking that up, because I like Superman's stories are like they come and they go, and if you want read most of the time, for most of the ones that you read, they're all pretty much the same. And it's a Superman book, and it's never been my type of comic to get into, so I was like hesitant on picking this one up.
Yeah, this book's been great so far, especially through KO. This was one of the main books that was tying into KO heavily. But to see the reign of the Superboys going on currently in all of the Superman books, Con-El is going to be showing up in Supergirl. We saw in Dan Slott's run that now we have two Jonathan Kents. We have Jonathan Kent wearing a Nightwing costume, a Nightwing Superman costume pretty much. And then we have young Jonathan Kent now back from the past. So there's two Jonathan Kents now running around in that book, Superman Unlimited. And now Superboy Prime in this. So it was a lot of fun. Again, I don't know how long this is going to run, if it's just for a couple months, if it's just for a short amount of time, but I love having Prime in this universe, and I want to see more of him. I love in the issue, he makes a comparison to him being the Jason Todd of the Superman family, and I love that analogy. So I'm here for it. Uncanny X-Men spoke about Gail Simone and her issue in the Superman Spiderman crossover. This is the finale of the monster crossover that she was doing in Uncanny X-Men. It was fun. It wasn't my favorite. I'm hoping that we move forward now. Sometimes this book, I love these kids that are in this book. The team of kids that she's assembled and the characters she's created in this book are absolutely phenomenal. But some of the stories, we have storylines that have been going on since the beginning that like still haven't been resolved, still haven't been played out. We've had other storylines that have been introduced that still aren't being like played out. And this kind of run for this monster crossover, while it was fun, it did feel like we were just kind of stalling a little bit. So I like the issue. I'm glad that it's over and we're going to be moving forward, hopefully to Monet coming into the picture, because she's been teased for a long time and we still don't have her being part of the book. And my last one, another favorite issue of this week, was Green Lantern number 800, the anniversary issue.
I wanted to get that one so bad. They didn't have it.
This issue was
I missed it.
So much fun. I'm a big Kyle Rayner fan. I've said it on here. Kyle is my Green Lantern. So to get this and to
That's
get
another
Kyle,
reason why it was like,
and to get Kyle being the main character of this, this was a phenomenal issue. You basically got his origin, you got Hal Jordan's origin, you got a nice story that had Wally and basically Kyle coming to Earth for the first time since he's been away. So it's gonna be cool. We're gonna get a lot of other Lantern Corps teaming up in this book going forward. And it was really fun to see Wally. Wally and Kyle have like a really long stemming relationship. Wally is the Flash now, so Wally like comes and helps him move into his new apartment and just kind of gets him acclimated. And they have a little team up. Kyle debuts his new look for his new suit. So it was pretty cool. I really like the issue.
Yeah, I gotta give Kyle a chance. Hopefully I can get my hands on that one.
Yeah, if you really want to like Kyle, I would go back to the New 52 and read the Jeff Johns run and read the White Lantern run of when Kyle becomes White Lantern. To me, that's like what really sold me on him, was like reading that story and arc and watching him master all the rings and all the stuff that it took to get him to become the first White Lantern. Yeah, I like Kyle. I'm glad he's the Earth Green Lantern. And then we also see that Hal is out in some other place, in a different sector, on a mission with the Wonder Twins, who I have not seen in DC in a long time. So I thought that was an interesting little drop. So it was cool.
Yeah, definitely for me. I mean, out of all those comics, Justice League Unlimited was my comic of the week. So
yeah,
I'm really excited.
It was
to see
okay.
What
it wasn't great. I like the setup for it though. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
fun.
I love the ending more than anything, of like Batman being naive of what's going to be happening with these villains being on the team. Like,
I don't think he's being naive.
Sorry, not that's not the right word I wanted to use. Like he said, bias or something like that. He said.
Well, he knows, he thinks it's a bad idea all around, and
right.
Diana is the one.
He should.
And Diana is the one who is feeling differently, because if you watched how KO played out and how some of these villains, played their roles, even Lex in the Superman book is not a villain. He hasn't been a villain really for this whole run so far. Like he's really changed as a person and as a character, and I hope they don't go the typical route of like, oh, they're gonna betray the Justice League and then we're gonna do this all over again. No, like some of these characters deserve to be heroes. Lobo is one of them that, like, people like Lobo. Like, he's a fun character. Yeah, he's kind of edgy and he crosses the line a little bit, but he could be fun in a Justice League setting of, like, having him be part of the team. Giganta, another one. Like, Starro is one that, like, I thought was fun. I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, yeah. Harley's gonna be fun. Like, Harley and Batman being able to, like, team up, I think is gonna be a lot of fun. Like, I think this book could be really cool going into Absolute Crisis. Like, I feel like if this is the play, I just don't want to see the tropes of, like, we did this already in New 52 where Lex joined the Justice League, he turned on the Justice League, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't want that
That's
again.
exactly where my mind went. And them saying Batman is already thinking like that tells me that, like,
because it's happened already.
This is gonna happen. Like,
but they need. Bruce knows the deal though. Is like they need all hands on deck. They need everybody ready to fight. And it wasn't even presented to him by his own idea. It was presented by two other villains that were out here trying to save people while shit was going down. And they're like, no, you guys wanted to keep us locked up in prison. Meanwhile, like, we have people we care about too. We want to help. And then that was the thing that put it in perspective for Diana, was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Like, I didn't think about it that way. So yeah, I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. Yeah, I've heard a couple things going on from WonderCon right now. If you are at WonderCon, check out 2797 Studios. There's a booth out there. My boy Bill.
Nice.
Some stuff dropping. I did see some stuff about Teen Titans, which kind of had me disgruntled about what they're going to do with Jason. But we can talk about that next week.
Okay.
You got anything that you're watching?
Yeah, currently, I mean, obviously we got Daredevil out right now. I just finished. They just came out with episode 4 for Invincible, and that's really freaking great. I'm loving everything that they're doing in that. Also, we have I'm catching up on Shrinking on Apple TV. That show is a fucking waterworks, but it's also really fucking funny too. Harrison Ford in that is just classic.
Yeah.
This is a classic act. And then also we have, like I said before, I'm catching up with Will Trent, which is just like, typical, just your ABC daytime shows. And then. And what else do we have? I gotta catch up on DTF, and I have to catch up on Rooster. But then other than that,
they were both good last week. They were funny. Well, DTF is getting better. You're kind of seeing how this is all going to play out, and they're setting that up. But Rooster was funny last week. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on those two. But,
I watched
that's everything.
I watched The Ballerina last night. The
nice.
Part of the John Wick universe with with what's her name, Ana de Armas, and I loved it. I thought that was actually better than the John Wick movies. Like he's in
John
it.
Wick movies can be a little.
Well, he's in
that
it.
Same.
Yeah, he's in the movie, but I just thought like I would rather see a whole movie of them together teaming up and having to do like an Expendables type mission with the two of them rather than seeing like another John Wick or seeing like I would take part 2 of Ballerina because their story was pretty good and seeing her learn all of the fighting and the choreography and stuff like that, like she kicks ass in that fucking movie and it was actually pretty good. I liked it a lot. So
dope.
Yeah. But that'll do it for this week of TalkNSupes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, take care. Peace.
Peace.